Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr. and the ladies, it's me, Germ, again. Thank you all for tuning into Kinetic Aesthetic. I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday, and I hope you're ready to talk about a whole bunch of exciting and interesting things that happen in the world of sports. I, of course, am going to tell you all about the Bears and how we are 6-3. We are tied for first place in our division as of this recording, and based off the way this season has been going, we are trending upward, and especially so in terms of our quarterback, Mr. Caleb Williams. But we're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about so many other interesting things that happen across the league. We're going to talk a little bit about the NBA, and there's a little interesting thing that I found about women's basketball that I want to share with you all. And we're going to get to all of that and more, but I'm going to give you all a little bit of second, give you all a little bit of time, if you will. So I want you to get comfortable, grab some food, grab a snack. If you're at work, kick your feet up. I hope you're on a lunch break, and get ready because you're about to have some sports talk to go and complete this day. So any long-term listeners of the channel are going to know about me that one thing that I hold dear and that I just find to be very important is family. It's crucial. It is one thing that you may not be able to choose it, but you've got to cherish it. And so it brings me great joy to tell you all about a family business that is run by none other than my big brother and my role model. It is a business that he has decided to run in honor of our late mother, my mom, Rachel. She had a banger recipe for some caramel cakes and caramel desserts, and he's taken that recipe, and ever since she passed, he has just taken her dreams and her legacy, and he is using that all, and he is just putting them into these cakes, into these brownies. I'm showing you all of them right here. They're delicious. They're amazing. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, you are well within reaching distance of these. So I'm imploring everybody to just go to this website that I got up here on this screen right now. I want you to go over there. I want you to go and make the best decision of your day. Order yourself a damn cake. But other than that, I just want to just make sure I shared this business and just shared it with y'all because it's special to me. It's important. And I'm not trying to implore anybody to grab it if you're somebody that loves me or has support for me. But if you want to have some good shit, because trust me, he's going to ship it to you even if you're far away. You are well within your right to treat yourself to some good caramel desserts. So once again, website is on the screen, Mama Rose Caramel. It is a family business run by my brother, and it is something that it is a lot of love, passion, and hard work goes into this. So trust me, if you want to have something good in your life, go and check out Mama Rose Caramel. So number one, you already know, we have to talk about the Bears. We have to talk about them. They showed out this week. It was, and listen, I know I'm sounding very excited for a guy whose team struggled with a 2-7 Giants team that was missing their star receiver, their stud rookie running back, and they lost their stud rookie quarterback midway through the game. But that is because personally, as I've already told y'all, if you haven't caught up, I'm going to tell you again, I am not necessarily caring about the results this season. If they win the Super Bowl, that's fucking great. I'm ecstatic, but I'm not expecting it. I really was not even walking through the season expecting playoffs. What I wanted was development and progression from Caleb Williams, and that is what I've been seeing. Y'all heard me these last couple of weeks before these last two games. I was complaining. I was starting to doubt and worry. I was really just starting to phone it in and pack it all up in terms of hoping to see what we're seeing. It has not always been pretty. It has not always been stat just there. You haven't been able to see the numbers. But this was a game where even after last week, which was a great game for him, in my opinion, this was his best performance of the entire fucking season. He balled out. His receivers dropped so many passes to where if you would have had a stat line with all of those added on there, he's over 300 yards. We probably have the lead and things are just going a lot better. But this was a game where he had every reason to phone it in, to start just pouting, to just really just stop giving a fuck, and he did not. He fought the entire time. He gave it his all, and he played like a top 10 quarterback. He played like a top 10 quarterback, especially in that fourth quarter. This wasn't even a game where I really feel like there was in that last game with the 3 touchdowns where it was a complete game for him, except for that second quarter. This one I felt was just all around the whole time. He was good. He was stepping up. He was making throws. They were not getting caught. He made even the first drive or the second drive when he had that throw to DJ in the back end zone. DJ's hurt, so I'm not even going to hold him not being able to hold on against him. But that was on him. That was a good throw. Most of his throws were fucking great. I've never been this just like happy to see my quarterback just doing well and just doing this shit, because that was a game where he put it on his back. The defense was ass. You know, they started out strong, but then they were letting a rookie just come in and make their ass look foolish. He was throwing well, he was slicing and dicing. It was looking like it was going to be rough and bad for us. And Caleb, just the entire time, he just kept us in it. He kept us steady. The drive sometimes were stalling. We weren't necessarily moving the ball the way I would have hoped. But this is the story of this man's career so far. In the fourth quarter, when you need him to be there, and it's not like a Dak Prescott where it's just like garbage time stats. When you need him to start hitting those throws and start making that deep shit happen, he does. And you can't teach that. That is an X factor that is going to lead us to success for a long time if we can keep it up. But yeah, no, it was Penei Sewell is fucking terrible. I will say that. The backup linebacker, that team that is replacing TJ Edwards right now, he's not good. He is a bad player. He misses so much shit. And he fails to just make, like, I'm sorry, there was a 3rd and 19, 3rd and 12 or some damn near where we had them dead to rights. He has a hand on him in the backfield. He's able to shake him and get the first down. That was the game where I thought we were going to lose because of that play. So Penei Sewell needs to really give Caleb Williams he needs to go and buy dinner for that motherfucker, because he saved his ass from being the pariah of the city. This was, again, a game where everything that needed to go wrong for Caleb did, where it was like, if you want to have a mulligan, if you want to just have a game where you just sort of like, you'll look back on that one and be like, damn, I regret losing it. This was that game for us. Easy team to beat at home. It was quintessential trap game, especially with all of this real tough opponents coming up on our schedule. But again, this team, this season, they're pulling this shit out, and this was the quintessential one. We're going into this stretch of very, very tough games. You got Minnesota, then you got Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's at home, but still, that's Aaron Rodgers. He is going to be motivated and fired up, especially with the way Pittsburgh has been playing lately. Then you start the gauntlet of division games. The only real game where I don't like to make guarantees. I damn sure don't like to do it with the Bears. Only team that I really think that we have left on the schedule that I can almost be like, I'm gonna really just be shocked if we don't beat them, Cleveland. You can say what you want about San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan is a great fucking coach. I don't care if they don't have Brock Purdy and Mac Jones. He is good enough to start, and that is a team that just is going to fight. So, and we play them in San Francisco. So you combine that with nothing but division games. You got Philly mixed in there. This is the gauntlet. This is the stretch. And this is really where it's going to be put up or shut up. Now, if Caleb and the Bears, if they go 0-7 from here and they just completely shit the bed, yeah, it's overall, it's a wrap. That's not a good way to end. That's not a good season. But you're able to string together some wins in there. You're able to, I'm not even asking you to make the playoffs. I'm just asking you, show me some games where you look confident. Show me that you are not a team, that this is not an aberration. That's all we want to know. Just show me that this team, as constructed, because this is the team that as constructed still has a lot of holes, still has a lot of shit that it needs to improve on. But if we're able to get into the playoffs, let alone get to double-digit wins, with Caleb playing the way he is, with Ben Johnson showing what he has, with knowing the fact that we are just going to get better in the offseason once we bring more additions in, that's going to be a Bears fan's dream. I don't know anybody at this point that's asking for a Super Bowl, but we're just asking for that, especially just going into this next year. I want to see him. I want to see him get it done. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Darnell Wright. That motherfucker is having an all-pro season. He is playing his ass off. That block he had against, I don't even remember who it was on the Giants. I just know the nigga was trying to go for a spin move, and he just completely just chopped it and shut it down. The nigga tried to spin, ran into him, and it just fell to the ground. Like, we are really starting, and I'm just starting to see it on offense. The players that are great are starting to just stand the fuck out. I'm starting to see, I just see it. Again, I said it a couple episodes ago. This can be a deep playoff run if we start to really just show our stuff and we really start to flex our mic. We get some health going on defense just a little bit. Maybe we can get TJ Edwards in there for the long haul. Jalen Johnson, I don't necessarily know if he's out for the season, Like, he could come back during playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. We didn't necessarily think he was going to be there when he first got injured, but hey, the way shit is playing out, we might need him maybe in January. I think this is a team that nobody's going to want to face. So I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I am ready for the Bears to exert their fucking force on this division, on this conference, because they're in the position. Everybody that I felt like I wanted to lose yesterday lost. Carolina lost. Hopefully Green Bay is going to lose tonight as of this recording. The Monday night game is just literally kicking off. So it's really going to come down to the Bears just not winning every single game. Win enough. You already started 1-0 in November. Coach Ben, he came out and said, I want to go 3-1. That's the goal for November. I think that's their goal for every month. If you can do that, sky is the fucking limit, because there's going to be a lot of tough challenges. But if you can come out of there even 2-2, I think the Bears have to feel really, really good about where they're at. Alrighty. So when first looking at some of the news outside of the Bears, some of the NFL news, leading things off for the week was the Raiders playing the Broncos. This one was a clunker, if there ever was one. Bo Nix is an interesting story this season, but me personally, I am just not a firm believer in the guy. I think that Denver does have an elite defense. They are pretty special on that side of the ball, but Bo Nix is just not there right now. So I don't know what to make of them, at least in terms of their prospects in the playoffs. You have the Colts who are facing the Falcons. They ended up beating them 31-25. This game was a lot closer than it probably should have been, especially considering where the Colts are at and where the Falcons are currently at. When it comes to the Falcons, they're an up and down team, so they're pretty much right where I would expect them to be. When it comes to the Colts, Daniel Jones is starting to concern me. This is the second game in a row where he has pretty much just been turning the ball over willy-nilly. I'm going to talk more about it when we start to talk about the trade deadline and everything that happened, but the Colts are a team that just went all in on this man, and they have pretty much signed themselves up to at least be part of the Daniel Jones roller coaster for this year and the next for sure. Jonathan Taylor can only do so much. It's cute to keep winning regular season games at this point when you have a quarterback who's underperforming. Your running back is just playing as special as he can be. This is an MVP campaign, but I do worry about, like, they can get into the playoffs. They feel like the type of team that's going to run into a buzzsaw, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be a potent one. Vikings were not able to beat the Ravens at home. Ravens continue their win streak. Lamar looked solid. He looked all right. The Ravens they're really looking like I just can't see them. They look like they're the team they're supposed to. And if they are treating every single game like it's a playoff game, then the rest of the league needs to look out. I don't know. This nigga JJ has an alter ego named Nine. He has an alter ego named Nine. This motherfucker is the corniest nigga that I have really just seen in the league since Russell Wilson. And the thing with Russell Wilson, it at least came off as endearing. I feel like a little like, all right, that's just who he is as a person. This just feels like super cringe. Like JJ McCarthy is just literally the definition of cringe when it comes to the way, at least the shit that I've read about him. Like, mine's a little corny. So it'll be interesting to see how they end up going down the stretch. I feel comfortable saying they're the fourth best team. Jets were able to fuck up their draft position even more by getting a win over the Browns, a victory that I bet that they will probably regret months from now when they are wishing they had the number 1 overall pick. Yeah, they're just this was a tank ball. This was a tank ball game. Dylan Gabriel isn't it. He should not be starting at this point. You should at least see, and I only say that because you should at least see what Shador has. But yeah, those are both two franchises that I just do not really feel are going anywhere fast. I don't even care if they have all the draft picks. Patriots against Buccaneers, interesting game. Came down to the end. Drake May and them finally beat. This is the toughest opponent that Drake May and the Patriots have had to beat since the season started. So shout out to them. They had to answer some questions, and they did. MVP campaign from both of these guys is still on the menu. It all depends on how everybody finishes. Saints against Panthers. Panthers, again, up and down team. They are where I necessarily think that a lot of people expected the Bears to be. And so I don't necessarily think that they are underperforming, but they're right about where they should be. You've got the Jaguars and Texans up next. Texans win 36-29. Jaguars, I don't know what to make of them. I thought they were a team that was going to end up sort of, coming together. But maybe it's either going to take a little bit longer, or this is the start of a little fall off for them. Shout out to the Texans for winning after CJ was taken out last week with that bad concussion. It's always good when you can come in and get a victory over a division rival, especially when you got the backup quarterback in. Seahawks win 44 against the Arizona Cardinals 22. Not much else to say about this one. They have earned that #1 spot in the power rankings. One of the best defenses in the league. Sam Darnold's playing amazing. ASN's the top 3 receiver this year. What else are you going to do? They're a problem. Nobody's going to want to face them, especially come December. Rams 42, 49ers 26. Again, great quarterback play in this one, just like some of the other games this week. Matt Stafford has thrown 20 touchdowns over the last 6 games, 0 picks. Jonathan Taylor's only real competition for MVP this year is him. It's really, I think at this point, it's just going to come down to if the Colts can get the #1 seed or if the Rams can get the #1 seed. I'm gonna have to give the edge to Jonathan Taylor at the moment just because of the pace he's on. But Matthew Stafford is his only real competition at this point, and I think that it's getting further and further. They're both widening the gap between them and everybody else. Lions are able to win against the Commanders 44-22. This one was a very just quintessential, the better team came in, beat their ass. The Lions have just been doing that a lot this year. They're just a solid team. They're a solid, well-coached team. As much as Ben Johnson leaving might have hurt them, they have been able to overcome it and just get shit done regardless. So they get all the credit. I still think they are the class of the NFC. And shit, they're the reason why I still feel like I'm still thinking wild card. I'm not really even thinking division. Chargers beat that ass on the Steelers, 25-10. It was as nice as it is to see Aaron Rodgers struggle, to see him not look like ass on national television. I do somewhat worry about this game because it does just give me the inkling that when he comes to Soldier Field 2 weeks from now, he's going to be extremely motivated. He's going to want to make sure that he reasserts his dominance. He's going to want somebody to pick on and to beat on. And I think we're definitely a different team led by Caleb. Caleb can do what he can to match him, but that defense might get abused if we don't have some more people healthy. An Aaron Rodgers that is motivated and angry is an Aaron Rodgers that I don't want to have to deal with. So that's going to be an interesting game, but they were able to get their ass whooped by the Chargers tonight. Justin Herbert he's doing it. Everybody's made all those jokes. I came out and I talked about what they look like without Joe Alt. They won without him 3 straight. So shout out to them. And finally, to finish everything off, I am recording this after the game was done. Packers, yes, they did lose 7-10 against the Philadelphia Eagles. This one, not only does it make me happy because the Packers, again, are showing themselves to be a bit of a fraudulent team when it comes to facing actual competition. It just gives me it's something that feels really good about me just feeling like Jordan Love is not as good as Caleb Williams. I don't see him being the guy that's going to make those throws and make those completions that he needs. If the game is on the line like it was tonight for them, I don't know if Jordan Love is going to be able to get it done. I believe in Caleb too. And I don't know if I've ever been able to say that about a Bears quarterback, especially in comparison to a Packers one, after so many years of dealing with Favre and then Rodgers on the sideline. So this is a moment I'm going to cherish. I'm going to be cherishing this. I can't wait to face Green Bay because, hey, Caleb's undefeated at Lambeau. This is a team that is not the same as it was before. This is a team that's ascending. It's not just Caleb ascending, it's the entire team. So we're starting to get better and we're starting to peak at the right time. Caleb going on this run that he's been on over the past 3 weeks, has been exactly what you want to see, at this point in the season. You like to think that maybe the game is slowing down, maybe things are starting to just sort of become easier. And if that's the case, then the sky is the limit, especially going into January, especially going into football and the cold weather and everything. I think Caleb's a gamer, and that's why I'm starting to really feel like we have a chance against any team in any situation. So the Packers don't scare me. I'm not going to count them out, but I think they really lost the one that they needed to win tonight. I'll just put it that way. Alrighty, so just one thing else that we wanted to talk about before we move on from the NFL. The trade deadline was insane. There was a lot of interesting things that happened. Cowboys, for some reason, despite their record, it was right after they lost Arizona, they decided to just go all in, make a trade for Quinnen Williams and another defensive tackle. So they're beefing up that defensive line. Jerry complained about not being able to stop the run. This is an answer to that. So it might not be something that pays dividends this year, but the Cowboys are definitely putting themselves in position to try to move on from the Micah trade and not end up getting stuck. If you can just build off of what Dak is doing, you've still got CD, you've still got an offensive line with pieces around it. You've still got there's not much on defense, but you know what? You can draft and you can do stuff to make that better. So the Cowboys are going to be an interesting team going forward, especially next year. The Jets, they made so many damn trades. I can't really even think of all of them off the top of my head. I know Sauce was traded. They were able to get 2 first rounds for him, which is actually crazy. And it's fucked up because the first highlight I saw of Sauce after that trade on Sunday was him getting his ass burnt on by somebody for a touchdown. And that don't mean nothing really. It's just one play. He's new to the system and everything like that. But the Colts are playing a high stakes game right now. They have, like I said earlier when I was talking about the Colts, they have went all in on this man, Daniel Jones. They are banking that either this year or next year they can get a Super Bowl victory and that they can just be the team to beat. I've seen one franchise give Daniel Jones a decent chunk of money and then end up regretting it and being sort of stuck for a little second. This is a different era of the NFL where we are seeing quarterbacks develop later and really come into their own and blossom later in their careers. But I don't know. I never felt that way about Daniel Jones during these first couple of weeks, and I especially don't now. So that's going to be the story for me out of the AFC. I'm most interested to see how are the Colts going to do, because a one and done after everything that they have done this season, after all that you have really bought in with, would be so deflating, would be so disappointing. And I really don't know if you have any type of way of not moving on with Daniel Jones as your quarterback after what you've pretty much done. You would have to be pretty much banking on trading for somebody that is worth trading for and somehow getting that done, like just capital wise, because I don't know, they traded, you would have to be giving up all the first round picks you just got. So we shall see. The Bears also made a move. They were able to get a defensive lineman from the Browns. Not much really to say about that one. We just need a depth. They are really thin around there. Montez Sweat needs to have some type of help. You need to have a DE3. So not much really to say about that one. And the only other new move that I really found of note, the Seahawks added another receiver, Rashid Shaheed. They added him out of New Orleans. He's a very, very solid receiver. So Seattle, again, is just making those moves that are trying to put themselves in position. I really like the squad that Seattle has right now. And just being able, they're getting so looked, even despite them being number one in the power ranks and having sort of all the hype. I feel like people really aren't taking it serious right now just because maybe Sam Darnold isn't a sexy pick to have as your quarterback. But they are doing a good job of making it to where he's going to have every reason to not fail. This offensive line is great. The defense is going to suffocate people. As a Bears fan, I really would love for them to not get the number one seed. I'll say that. But yeah, no, the trade deadline has come. There was a couple of people that I thought were going to be traded that ended up staying put. Bryce Hall out of the Jets, I thought he was for sure going to get moved. He even asked for it, but it just didn't happen. And I can only hope that some of these guys are going to be available on the open market or that somebody can just get moved. But other than that, I think that it was a pretty exciting little deadline. Alrighty, so just an interesting news story that I found out this week that I wanted to share with you all. The WNBA might actually have some competition on their hands because there is a new organization going by the name of Project B. I believe it stands for Project Basketball. It is a new women's league, a global women's league that's being developed. It is funded by the Saudis, but pretty much its main goal is to just give women a better outlook, a better business share of their just business model. It's trying to just set up something where women are going to be able to get paid 7 figures, real competitive compensation, so that they are no longer just criminally underpaid the way they are. I know some people might feel different, might feel like a type of way about the Saudis being involved and about how that's so hypocritical for any woman that goes and takes that deal. I'm just going to say it right now, personally. I feel like you got to just leave women the fuck alone, especially these basketball players. For these women to be as talented as they are, for the league to be getting the exposure that it does have with like Caitlin Clark and everything like that, for them to be just now getting to a point now where they're able to like speak up enough to try to say like, hey, I want to get paid more, is sad. And I know some people are going to be like, well, maybe you should just try to stick with the league that you have, make it better, establish something so that you can do better for the future and the youth. That is true. I understand where you're coming from, but I just personally think that there's nothing wrong with that with some of these women leaving now. Leave the WNBA if you're not getting paid enough. If you don't fuck with how things are going. Go somewhere where you can get paid millions. Play basketball. Play the sport that you love, and use that money into doing something to change, to like make things better in the future. Because shit, it is unfair. It's not right. Like some of these and I understand the WNBA doesn't necessarily garner the same doesn't necessarily. It just doesn't garner the same attention, the same demand that the NBA or any of these other major men's sports leagues do. But we still can do better. Like we can just do better, and if they can find an avenue to do better, if that involves the Saudis, so be it. No company is special. No company is morally superior. Every damn major American sports league that we have right now is in bed with gambling. They are all sponsored by DraftKings and all this other degenerate shit that is pushing gambling on our kids and just pushing us to give away and like pushing motherfuckers into gambling addiction. Nobody is safe. Nothing is just sacred. Nothing is just better than one. And that's why I'm not bothered by anything that they got going on. It is what it is. I think people have to let these women get their paper. Now, one of the first women that was able to, that has went pretty much viral for going out of there, her name, and I'm trying to make sure I'm going to pronounce this name. Nneka Ogwumike. I might have butchered that. I apologize if I did. She played for Seattle. Her contract was up, and she pretty much is decided that she's going to go try this out. And she's getting paid. She's about to get paid up to like damn near $2 million. And that is way in contrast to what she'd be making in the WNBA. So I don't see no problem with this. It is the type of thing to where it's like, from what I read, they're going to be organizing tournaments in different countries, different continents. So they're not even going to be really in North America. But I think this is a good thing. I think this is okay. This is an example of basketball sort of crossing over into a global sort of stage. And I think that is something that needs to be encouraged. I understand that men's basketball is always going to be dominated by the NBA. I think that is sort of set in stone at this point. But there's nothing wrong with another country, with another group of people trying to be like, you know what? Women's basketball is underutilized. It's underinvested. Let's go put something into that, and let's see if we can get something done, and we can try to give something new and fresh. And yes, it is a lot of sports watching going on with it. I'm not going to deny that. But you know what? Fuck that shit, young woman. Go get paid. So here we are. We are right now pretty much getting ready to get into this final stretch of the season for the Bears. It's going to be a I don't even know what the word is, a looming gauntlet that is just like waiting for us to just embark on it, to just see what happens. I am nervous. I haven't really been able to see the Bears play this type of meaningful football going this late into the season since 2018. And last time that happened, we had a double doink and everything got fucked up after that. So I think things are going to be different with this coach, with this regime. I think Ben Johnson is just a different type of guy, a different type of coach. But more than anything, Caleb is not Mitch. So I have a lot of faith in that going forward. I do believe that we can go and be different. This could be a team that nobody wants to face in January. They just have to go out and play to their full potential. We have the quarterback. We have a decent running back duo. We've got good receivers. Tight end is a good-ass, solid thing for us. Our O-line is top 10. Like, just by all the metrics, they're top 10. Defense is unhealthy. That's the real big knock on them that I would give. And we just have solid coaching. Maybe aside from special teams, but other than that, I really do feel like we have solid coaching around. So I think this is a team that can make a lot of noise, they can be something. I ain't gonna call them what I want them to be, but I believe they can be something, and they can surprise a lot of motherfuckers. But other than that, I really didn't have much else I wanted to say with this episode. Bears have me feeling good. This next stretch of the season is gonna be great. It's gonna be nice to see them against Minnesota this weekend. Across the NFL, this has just been a solid week of football. So I'm excited to see what week 11 is gonna bring. But other than that, this has been your boy Germ. Make sure that you stay in tune with all the things that are happening in the sports world. If you find anything that's noticeable that you see that that's not been on my radar, send it to me. Let me know, because I love to get feedback from everybody that watches this. I want to say thank you again for all of you for just tuning in. Thank you for liking, following, subscribing, whatever you do to stay in tune with the podcast, because I'm trying to tell y'all, it means a lot to know that people are watching this or streaming this, or however you are engaging with the content. you are engaging, and you know what? That keeps me engaged. So once again, thank you to everybody. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Make sure you drink a lot of water. Tell your friends and your family that you love them, and just continue to be good people. I'm Kinetic Aesthetic. I'm your host, Jeremy, and I'm out.